Hi guys, welcome back. I wanted to pull out the phone and record a video right now. So here I am doing that. What's crossed my mind today? Alright, because I made a video recently about kind of focused around like the whole concept of Easter and stuff. But today I got some different stuff on my mind, and so I'm gonna dive right into it. And it's that people out here, or wherever you are, at least wherever I am, everywhere actually, people out here really aren't alive. All right. Um, if you walk around and interact with people, or go in any public place, or any like store or restaurant, you're gonna notice that everyone is just operating on this super monotonous, robotic, like they're just operating on a very like they're just dragging their feet everywhere, like they don't care. And giving them the benefit of the doubt, given the times we're in, and with the prices of everything, and just dynamics in general between people and genders and stuff, yeah, I don't blame them for feeling or for being a little bit bummed out, all right, for lack of better words here. But it's getting really bad. And I think that it's been bad to a point where if you walk into the room, or I'll use myself as an example. When I enter a space where there's a lot of people, or a handful of people, like even if I'm with my family, like at a restaurant, or I walk into a store, or walk into or I drive up somewhere, like pull up at a gas station, for example, and minding my own business, I can just see in my peripheral vision, because I have really good peripheral vision, that everyone is instantly like watching me like a hawk. I'm America's Most Wanted on the run. And now the second I enter the scene, people are like watching for whatever reason. And I have my theories and my own conclusions about why. I'm not going to get into it on this video, or I'm not going to talk about it, but I'm just saying, in general, even for the past 5-6 years, even when I was in high school, in fact, the second I enter a classroom, the second I walk down the hall, it's like people passing me. I can recall from my memory that people, like, even if these people were bigger than me, or they were like you know they were bigger, or they were taller, or they were like football players. And then for the women, on the other hand, like they were really beautiful. Or where I went to high school, there was a lot of Asian, and like people from Nepal, Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, even from parts of Europe, like Eurasia. There were a couple people from Croatia and Ukraine, a lot of people from Turkey. Just, you get the idea. It doesn't matter if they were guys or girls. But I remember when I was in high school, when I went there, because I graduated when I was when right before COVID, so I could still or maybe I'm not supposed to say that on here, but I graduated before that thing. And so people, I got to experience the in-person graduation, and high school and all that in person, right? And when I was passing people by, it doesn't matter if they were, like I said, man, woman, boy, girl, tall, big, skinny, beautiful, average. Like, people would look at me as if I was America's Most Wanted. And I would walk by, of course, unbothered, because in public I don't show. Like, if I know people are like gonna give me hostile vibes, or hostile, I sense that energy, I immediately know that I don't want to escalate that. And you probably have experienced this as well, where you don't want to escalate anything of that kind, because you don't know what's going to happen, right? These people out here, you don't know. They could be elderly, they could be young, they could be middle-aged, they could be a man, a woman. It doesn't matter. People are capable of doing some terrible things. And so I just ignore that bad vibe, that bad energy. But even as I'm older now, and I'm not in high school anymore, obviously, it's there are nothing's changed, is what I'm trying to say. There are people out here that it's like nothing changed. Like, it just, I don't know how else to put it. And then of course I run into people who are the opposite. Like, they won't, I can tell they respect me, and they're not trying to like start anything and mess with me or anything. But those people are few and far between. They're more common than like people like myself, or if you're watching this video and you know what I'm talking about, go watch my previous video and you'll see. But the people like myself, I consider very rare, and that's just a fact. And so there's people out there that I can tell they're not like me, but they're not like the other side of the coin, people who totally are just, they're not in a good place spiritually or mentally. Okay, and I can tell they're trying to hide it, and they're looking for a reason to just, um like, look at all the drivers that aren't very good at driving, right? You can tell aggressive, like that's an outlet for them, and that's not good. So any outlet they can get, usually they will exercise that. um you may have people in your family, even, where if they interact with people at like fast food, or in like a store or a public service industry, where they just like, they're very, very not crass, they're very curt, and very not curt, because they're not even direct, they're like rude to a point where comments are made where they don't have to be made at all. That's the kind of energy, like that's the kind of outlet they take their bad energy out on. Okay, to other people, to other drivers, to people like me when I walk in the room. And uh it's something that you got to deal with. um so that's mainly what I wanted to talk about, is that people out there, people aren't alive. They're I think Carl Jung, or I think it was Carl Jung, Carl Jung, I don't know how you say his name, but Carl Jung, he spoke about how people are completely embedded in the system, completely just overtaken with materialism. And I mean, it's not even necessary materialism, you know. I barely go out unless I have to go to work, or like today I'm getting my tires done because they're bald. They're literally, you can see the little mesh thresh through the rubber. That's how bald they are on the sidewall. So that thing, they have to go. And I'm waiting for, I ordered my tires on already, and I'm just waiting for the people to say they arrived at the building, so now I can just drive right up. But so I don't have to go all the way back home and then come back again. And I don't even want to be out here, with all trying to be positive, with all respect to the universe. I don't want to be out in public ever. And it's not that I'm scared, or it's the opposite. I'm not scared. So if someone is gonna throw me that energy, I'm gonna shock them about my reaction, and that alone might escalate the situation. I've been at work before, and people will say something to me, and I just respond with silence, and they get super angry, or they get very upset. It doesn't matter if they're a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. They just they can't take it. So it's at a point in my life where, when I encounter these types of energies, any way I react is just going to be met with hostility or with a negative reaction. So if I react well, they're not going to like it. If I react, not so well, of course I'm going to get a not good reaction, because people like us, they hold us to a high standard. They want us to be perfect, and there comes a time when we're just tired of being perfect, so we don't want to go in public anymore. And we don't want to connect anymore, because no one's out here to connect. Everyone's out here to just get what they want, and stuff like that. So this whole time there was somebody in the car next to me, and they just opened their door and they won't come out of their car. So it's like stuff like that. I'm just wondering, like, hey, what's going on? But I'm not even gonna look. I see them in my peripheral vision. I'm not even gonna look because I don't know. I don't know who's in the vehicle. The windows are really dark. So yeah, that's what's on my mind today. And that's another thing. People will pop up out of nowhere. They call them monitoring. They're monitoring you. Like like whenever I'm in my car, I keep the lights on so people know I'm in my car, right? I'm not just sitting in my car like a creep. And you know, even if I sit in my car and people won't interpret me as being a creep, it's just I keep my lights on so people know that, hey, this vehicle's occupied, for everyone's safety. And people that sit in their cars with their lights off, and especially at night, that's just, I'll never understand how, but at this point I'm just rambling now. But usually I just the battles never end. They keep going. And especially if you're a man watching this video, especially for us men, like, it's our job to get up even if there's blood in our mouth. We just have to keep getting up and keep going. And but the thing is that when I get up and keep going as well, people don't like that even. It's gotten to a point where I've worked jobs before. If you watch my previous videos from like a month or two ago, I didn't quit, so they ended up firing me. And if I don't get fired, it gets so bad that I end up quitting. Not every job I've had, but some jobs I've left on good terms to get a better opportunity at another workplace. But that only happened once, because that was like a very rare situation where the workplace wasn't toxic, and I thought I got a better pay at somewhere else, and sure enough, that workplace was nothing like the one I worked before. And so like if it gets bad to where I don't quit, I usually end up getting fired, or people will make something up about me, or I'll be on probation and they'll let me go, because they hold, like I said, they want us to be perfect, and when we're not perfect, they hate that. So don't get discouraged and keep your head up. I think today's Tuesday. No, today's Wednesday. Today's Tuesday. So it's not the weekend. I know a lot of people like the weekend because they get to, kick back and do nothing, or they have plans. But today's Tuesday, so it's not the weekend. So, whatever you're doing or wherever you're watching this video, I assume a lot of y'all are watching on like a computer or your phone. Yeah, there is going to be opposition wherever you walk. And you can either ignore the opposition and be strong and act like it's not around you, which is super uncomfortable, but you learn to get used to it, or you can just completely withdraw and avoid it altogether. So for me, it's a mix. It's like a hybrid of both. I don't put myself in situations unless I absolutely have to. All right, like if my tank is on 0 and I have to get gas, or if my tires are bald to a point where I have to change them, or I have no food at home, so I have to go get something from the store. It's little stuff like that. But anyways, y'all, I hope y'all have a good day, and show some support for this video as this channel continues to grow, and I have full confidence it's gonna take off. So yeah, take care and have a great day.